This problem deals with rectangle dimensions. The perimeter of a rectangular field is 8,266 yards. The length is 84 yards more than the width. We're asked to find the length and the width. We'll solve this problem using our 5-step problem-solving process. And the first step is to familiarize ourselves with the situation. Anytime you're working with geometry, it's a good idea to draw a sketch, and we're dealing with a rectangle. And we're asked to find the length and the width. We don't know either one of those. So we'll let L stand for the length and W stand for the width. Now we were given the perimeter of a rectangle. So we need to recall what perimeter is. That's the distance around the rectangle. And the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle, if the perimeter is P, the formula for that is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. I think we have enough information there to go to our next step, and that's to translate the problem to mathematical language. We're given some information about the perimeter. We can write that as a sentence briefly in English. The perimeter is 8,266 yards. Now, how can we translate that to mathematical language using our variables L and W? Well, we know that the perimeter is, in terms of L and W, 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Is translates to equals, and we have 8,266. And this gives us an equation. Since we have two variables, in order to solve for L and W, we need another equation. And here's where you might look back at the problem and ask yourself what other information is given. Well, we were given that the length is 84 yards more than the width. So I'm going to write that. The length is 84 yards more than the width. Translating that to mathematical language, the length we called L translates to equals 84 yards we'll write as 84. More than is addition, so we'll write plus, and the width would be W. Now we have two equations with two unknown variables, and we can solve those equations as a system of equations now and find our solution. So we are solving the system of equations. 2L plus 2W equals 8,266. And the other equation is L equals 84 plus W. Now we can solve this using substitution or elimination, but since the second equation is already written in terms of, well, solved for L in terms of W, when I see an L in the first equation, I can substitute 84 plus W and solve the system using substitution. So my first equation, 2L plus 2W equals 8,266, becomes 2, and instead of L, I write 84 plus W, being careful to put parentheses so that I substitute correctly. And then I write the rest of the equation, plus 2W equals 8,266. Now I have an equation in which I have only one variable, W. I multiply across. 2 times 84 is 168, plus 2W equals 8,266. And I can combine like terms and write this as 168 plus 4W equals 8,266. And then I need to subtract 168 from both sides. Doing that on this side, I have 4W. On this side, I have 8,098. Finally, to solve for W, I divide on both sides by 4, and I get that W equals 2, 0, to 4.5. Now when I found W, I have found, hopefully, the width of the field. I also need to find the length. Looking back at our system of equations here, I can see that the length was 84 more than the width. So I should be able to find the length by adding 84 to the width. I had that W was 2024.5, so L would be 84 plus W, or 84 plus 2024.5. And doing that addition, I have 2108.5 for L. That was L all the way down there. Now I have a possible solution. I need to check it. To check it, I look back at what was given to me in the original problem. First of all, I was given the perimeter. I was told that the perimeter was 8,266 yards, and I was told that the length was 84 yards more than the width. So if my W here and my L meet both of those conditions, then I would have a solution of the problem. So first of all, we would check if you would subtract 2,108.5 minus 2,024.5, you would find that the length is 84 yards more than the width. So that checks. For the perimeter, we would need to find 2 times the length, or 2 times 2,108.5, plus 2 times the width, or 2 times 2,024.5. And multiplying these out, we get 4,217 plus 4,049. Adding that together, we get 8,266. And that checks. Now, it's well worth your time to do this additional math so you can make sure that your answer is correct. Since this width and length give us the correct perimeter, and since the length is 84 yards more than the width, we can state that our solution is the length is 2,108.5 yards, and the width is 2,024.5 yards.